Hello and welcome to Platform Analytics Academy. For those of you that are able to make it and happen to be in different time zones, some of which are many hours different, I really appreciate the fact that you are joining today. So as usual, this is always for you. That's the biggest thing, is doing these for our customers, make sure that we bring you really good content with fresh ideas and understanding of other things and some practical guidance anytime that we can. This is being recorded. It'll be out on our community events page later on today, also out on our YouTube. And please use the Q&A. Feel free to ask questions. This is a Q&A session. There's no specific topic. So ask all the questions that you want, and we'll try to get those answered as much as we can. So some answers will be given live, and then if one of our panelists are able to answer questions via typing them, then we'll do that as well. So hopefully we can get as many questions answered as possible, but we'll see how it goes. So click back over here. Safe harbor. So there could possibly be some information that is shared of forward things that potentially are coming within ServiceNow. So please make sure that you don't make any purchasing decisions based off of anything that you've heard today. So please keep the safe harbor in mind. Myself and Dan Kane, my coworker, are on today, and we are both hosts / panelists. So we also will answer questions, but we will both try to facilitate the questions as much as we can. We do have some really great people that are on the call today to answer questions. Rabajan, Marta's actually not here. She thought she was going to be able to make it, but she didn't. She's flying back home to Italy or from Italy. Isaac is here, and Lavidja and Olga are here as well. So really great people that know a great deal about the product. So again, it's great having all of them here. So with that, like I said, this is all about questions, and I see that we already have some questions coming in. So we'll just start right at the top. And I love it, Mike, you came prepared. So I don't know if, okay, these are all, wow. Okay, so these are all separate. So we'll just start from the top and see what we can do. And panelists, if there are any of you all, as you're hearing the question, that want to take it, please go ahead and click on the answer live, and I'll make sure that I pass it over to you, but we'll go ahead and read these questions. So first question is, previous Academy sessions have stated that a responsive dashboard conversion capability may be available as of the Vancouver release. What is the product management team view of reports, especially customers who may have large volumes greater than 10K, and for those that have been heavily focused on self-service model? Will there be capability to convert these to visualizations? And if so, will there be any bulk tools, or will these be a report by report? And it looks like Olga is going to take this. So go ahead, Olga.
So the idea is to also have the bulk tools. So at least from the list, so you can select a bunch of them from the list. And also you can choose to do one by one, both dashboard and reports, PA widget, etc., or a subset of them. We still in the early stage of the design and exactly how it will look like, but the idea that we do is not going to be only one by one, because yes, for the 10,000 reports, that's going to be painful.
So just to clarify, we're talking about conversion of
the classic UI to the next experience UI. I assume that's your question, Mike, right?
Yeah, and what I'm guessing here, and maybe we'll take Mike off mute here just to be sure, but what I'm thinking, I'm also wondering, is if we're talking more like I have a report that is not on a dashboard anywhere, and can that report just become like a data visualization that can be used anywhere, not a standalone data visualization.
How we are now discussing it internally, that we want to have a trigger point for the migration to be available from the dashboard, from the list of reports, from the list of PA widget, from the list of filters, right? If you want to migrate your interactive filters just as artifact, right, that you can use them in the future on your new dashboards or something like that. Or if users are still using the reports directly, right, without dashboard, they consume it directly on the reports. So we do consider to, under safe harbor and everything, we do planning to do it from different points, not just dashboard itself, but also send reports.
Hi, it's Mike. So thank you for that. That was exactly my question, right? It was not just for the dashboards, it was the reports that are just sitting out there, users are going out, creating them, and they're just using them on an ad hoc basis. So is the kind of view, just in terms of the Vancouver release on, in terms of your safe harbor notice and everything, is the view that of just dashboard conversion at that point, or will it, is it dashboard and reports that you're looking to be able to convert at that release?
So we're still in the early stage of planning for the Vancouver. So the timeline, I'm not sure, but whenever we're starting to push customers to migrate, that's gonna be both, right? It's not sure if it will be Vancouver or Washington on when it's going to be bulk tool, and it's probably will evolve, right, on the level of complexities as long as we have full feature parity or more feature parity. It's something that will be for several releases evolving. But yeah, probably in the first you can just easily consume both through the single plans, and then you can migrate them easily in the bulk or one by one. But the idea both, like, cannot confirm. I don't have full visibility on the deadline, whether it's Vancouver or Washington, but once it's there, the idea is that we're always discussing bulk as well, and we're always discussing for the from different points, dashboard and the list of reports, list of peer widgets, etc.
That's great. Thank you very much.
And I think that's related to, I'm gonna, Mike, I might let you back on, but I'll take you off there for a moment. I think the next question is somewhat related to that. So it's the other plans in the roadmap to eventually sunset responsive dashboards, Analytics Hub, and/or reports in replacement of the next experience features. And should we be encouraging customers to start moving across now? Or so basically, ask that thing. So what's the long-term plan of, are we going to be sunsetting the current responsive dashboards, Analytics Hub, and reports?
Yeah, that's a vision. We're planning to slowly move, same as we were moving from the home pages to the responsive dashboard some time ago, right? And we'll have a plan to move from responsive dashboards to fully next experience, and this meaning that it will be next experience dashboards. It will be a visualization designer with new visualization. It will be KPI details instead of analytics hubs. And all that will be fully next experience UI for all the features. Right now, if you are on San Diego or Tokyo, I'm not sure where you are now, you should not force customer to move yet, because there is no tools yet right now to support them. In one of the next releases, hopefully in Vancouver, again, under safe harbor. I don't know if allowed or not allowed to say, so stop me somebody if I say something too much. The idea that we will have at least single UX, which allow easily users to start creating new stuff while consuming easily all the stuff they already have, right? And migrate it as they will without forcing them. So at this point, we will strongly encourage them, like, hey, you have an easy way, just start for the new stuff, create new, that you have less stuff to migrate, and it's just better user experience for you altogether. But yeah, it will be probably will be faster push for the new customers, and it will be a bit longer way for the existing customers, just to make sure that we give all the tools to support customers to do it in the good manner. Probably over the next several releases will be more and more encouraging for you to move to the next experience.
So I was saying, it's for the moment, whether we don't have a specific timeline that we're encouraging customers. Basically, is anything that's net new, completely new today, if you're on Tokyo or later, we would suggest that you create it in the next experience environment.
For the moment, on the San Diego and Tokyo, especially on the Tokyo, the encouragement, like if you are heavily using workspaces and you want dashboards to be inside of the workspaces, this is when you need to use new next experience dashboards. This is designed for that, so that customer doesn't have to go away from the workspace if the user persona is directly working in one workspace, or maybe across multiple. They don't work that much with the classic UI. That one you should use Next Experience Dashboard today in Tokyo. If customer is mostly using the alt list and forms, they're mostly using the classic dashboards and a lot of mixed functionality, it's probably not helpful to push them right now to move to the next experience. Only like if you, because there's no easy way to consume both yet, right? So it will be a little bit inconvenient. So, but if you have this C-level, like, and you can build brilliant dashboards with the Next Experience Dashboard, which you want to consume, and this persona will only need to use Next Experience Dashboard, go ahead and can start using it as well.
So next, couple more questions from Mike, and I think Isaac, you're going to take.
Isaac, yeah, these are definitely Isaac questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So previous
Show
Academy
off.
sessions talked about optimization in the data collector. Is there any or plans within the roadmap to expand the PA matrix limits of 2 levels, perhaps even extend to 3 combinations? For an example, to allow a dashboard filter to be applied, as well as an indicator pivot by 2 breakdowns. We are continually hitting this limitation with our customer implementations. For example, a service manager wants to pick their service as an entry point and then see KPIs perhaps by priority and by category. So Isaac, I know that you're gonna take this one, and I would ask that when you go from this question to the next one, maybe you could read that one so we know that you're on the second question. But go ahead, Isaac.
Okay, yes, thank you. So yes, we know that there is this limitation, and we've been working on a new model so that we can support more breakdowns, not just 3, but we want to reach up to 20 breakdowns, and 20 breakdowns that you can drill down to 20 breakdowns or even further. At the moment, it's in limited access, so we don't have it available for all of our customers. But customers that are interested or even partners, you can always feel free to reach out to us. We have a bit of a delay. We were supposed to start previous month. We found a small issue with our model, so that's something that we are solving out at the moment. And based on that, we will continue and reach out to everyone. Mike, if you are interested, please let us know, and we can reach out to you so that you can become part of the limited access. It's not going to solve only the breakdown limitations. We are bringing much more innovations with it. This is the first question. This next one is with previous dashboards and PA widgets. There were some issues when enabling multiple value breakdown filters and applying these to certain types of widget. Example, aggregations across the selected values not behaving correctly, and we have often needed to disable multiple selections in the dashboard settings. Have these been addressed as part of the new visualization engine? So we have fixed quite a lot of the issues that we had. There is a number of cases that we cannot actually solve, and that is because of the way that we collect the data. And what I mean is, because we collect aggregations, it's sometimes difficult to calculate correctly the values. If, for example, you have an indicator of average, then it becomes a bit tricky for us. But all the cases that can be calculated correctly, I believe they've been solved. If there is anything new, please raise a case on our support portal, and we'll be more than happy to assist. And at the same time, with the new implementation of analytics that we are working on, the one I mentioned earlier, that will solve all these type of problems, since there we are not storing aggregations, but we are storing the changes, which makes it much more flexible, and this type of use cases and problems will not arise there. So yeah, I think.
Isaac, I just want to ask you as well, could you just, because I think it was part of Mike's what Mike didn't ask this directly, but I think it might be useful. Can you also just quickly or briefly distinguish between the new collector optimizations that are available with Tokyo versus this new data model? Because they are, I think it's important distinction.
Yes, they are not the same. You're right. Thank you, Dan, for bringing this up. So the optimizations that we did in the data collector are mainly on the technical part, so that we can collect more data. We didn't increase any other features. We just made sure that we do not cause problems to your instances, and that the instance will not run out of memory in some cases, that it used to happen when you were collecting a lot of data. That is what we optimized in the data collector, and we made it much faster as well, as we mentioned in our previous Academy session. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Now, the new model that I'm referring to is something, it's a completely new implementation of our analytics engine. It doesn't use any of the indicators that have been collected or have been configured by you. It's something brand new, and it brings completely new experience with much more features and less limitations than we currently have. So these are two different worlds. I hope that makes it clear. Mike?
Great, thanks.
Everything
Thanks.
okay? Okay.
Yeah, Mike said one follow-up, the PA matrix combination increase. It's just that statement on there. I believe, yes. So what we're saying is yes. That's that's the difference between the new, as one big difference between the new data model, which is which is yet to be determined. Targeted, probably Vancouver, Washington or plus release, versus the data optimization, which is large data sets, which could lock up your memory nodes and things of that sort. That is available with Tokyo, but the increasing the matrix is not available yet, but it is coming.
Correct. It's part of our limited access program, so only if you want to work with it, just let us know, and then we can add you in our program, and you can have it in your own instance, and you can see the what we've created so far.
Okay, thanks, Isaac. You done? Okay, good. All right, so the next question is, can you explain what's going on with the community? The last few days I've tried going to the community. I get redirected from community.servicenow.com to servicenow.community.com. Things look incomplete and rearranged there a lot. No more intelligence section, things like this. So we have moved from our previous community over to a newer community. And so the look is definitely different. And there's been some consolidation of some different forums to kind of parent-child type things. So the analytics, intelligence, and reporting forum that was previously in the older community is now just platform analytics. And the way that you get to that, Lisa, is when you're on the new community page, if you go to product hubs, under there is now platform, or I'm sorry, yeah, let me make sure, let me look again. Yeah, now platform. And then underneath that are, you actually see platform analytics, which is what we are now. So yes, there are some things that are a little bit jumbled and look differently. We are working very rapidly to, for lack of better words, clean up some of the things that didn't come across as smoothly as I think everybody anticipated. So we're working to fix those things. There are some links that need to be changed out, and some images, like you stated, look a little bit differently, or they're jumbled. But like I said, we're in that heavily. We have been this whole week trying to clean up some of the things. I don't anticipate this lasting long. I mean, I've been in there quite a bit cleaning up the platform analytics things, and I think it will. It is going to be better from what we previously had. It's just some of those pains of going from one to the other. So hopefully that answers your question. And if there is something specific that you just can't find and you're struggling with that, just shoot me an email. I'll try to help you as much as I can. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea, Lisa, to wait, to hold off on that. I would say I don't think we're going to see massive changes coming in, after in the links, but as of after this week. But you're right. Yes, this is a whole new technology refresh of the community.
Yeah, and most of the existing links that you have will have the redirection, so they're still going to the same page or the newer page that is relevant to that existing link. I know for example, the Academy session. So if you had one saved as a favorite, it will redirect to the new community for that. But it shouldn't be that much. I think we're close to having it the way that it needs to be. So we have 36 people on, and this is an opportunity to literally ask anything that you want to as it's related to the content that we covered. So please ask away. So here's one, just came in. Is there any way to change the color of the dial PA widget? It defaults to blue and gray, and we like to change it to some other color, i.e. green and gray.
That probably sounds like an Olga question, if I'm not I'm not wrong there. So yeah, that's a.
I was trying to remember how PA
Yeah.
looks like.
Because I make the assumption we're talking about the core UI core UI dashboard widgets.
I definitely can answer on the next experience very fast, but that's not the question. I mean, the color, the default color, let me quickly double check, but I don't think that is can be changed, because generally for the dial, it's coming from the I will let me check. I will come back to it. I don't think so, because it's mostly coming based on the target colors. So there's some automatic colors are applied, and default colors is blue, which is I don't think is changeable. But during this call, I will, if I find it, I will post in the chat to see if there's any configuration for that. It is configurable on the next experience, but that's.
Marilla, I'm just gonna taking you off mute to allow you to talk there, but I just want to make sure that we are talking about, when we say core UI or classic, we're talking about the responsive dashboards, regardless of what release you're on, as opposed to the next experience, which is the more of the workspace environment type, or the experience. So it's the, like Tokyo is where you really start to see the next experience dashboards, but they're available. I just wanted to clarify that you're talking about ones from the called maybe the legacy dashboards, the dashboards you've been working with for the last X number of years. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So we are not currently using the next experience at all, and we just upgraded to San Diego recently. So
okay,
yeah,
good. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So per chart, for sure not. Let me check if there's any system properties for that, but you cannot change it for sure per chart. But is it something that on the entire instance is something that interests you or not really?
Oh, I muted her back again. Should we bring her back here?
Yeah.
Morelli, you're back.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, if there's an option to do it for everyone, that would be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Let me check and I will come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, another question. Maggie says, we have users in multiple time zones. When users look at the dashboards, they see the data in their own time zone, therefore different numbers. Would it be possible to default the report to show the counts just in one time zone? So I think I've heard similar things to this before, where it's like if I'm looking at like what was the previous day, the day is being defined in the user's time zone, as opposed to we want to have like one standardized time zone that is kind of the default corporate time zone. Say it's GMT or whatever. We just want to show it just for that one, right? I think that's what we're talking about. Does that allow you to talk, Maggie? Is that correct, Maggie? Okay, she says yes. Yeah. So okay. So look at a dashboard, they see data in their own time. So I believe, I'm trying to remember within the responsive canvas, if we can say, I believe we can lock a specific time. Can we do that? I'm trying to, so Olga, do you remember with next experience, can we say that don't just go by a one standard time zone and don't apply the user's local time zone?
No, I think it works the same. I think the only way kind of to fix it is pretty much PA, right? Where you collect at some point, and that's it is. I guess how it will always be the same time zone in that case.
Let's see, because PA is still going to look at the time zone of the collection job, right? Or still good. So what I guess I'm asking here is if it's a PA indicator, that's a pre-collected score, that would show me that would still be the same time zone for anyone. It does because PA does not know to put it into a different date based upon the viewer's time zone, right?
And the score itself is collected under
because the score is the score is September 15th based upon when the collection was done, and it can't change it then. But so reports will always kind of default to whatever is the user's time zone. PA widgets should just show whatever the collection was. Should just be the one time zone.
Correct. And the only case that you can get reports in a certain time zone all the times is when you schedule them, because there you define the user. So whomever is receiving that email will always have that the same time zone.
So it sounds like, and Maggie, you're also, so it sounds like what maybe looking for a feature request there too, to be able to do that on a report, to be able to lock in the option to lock in a time range on a report regardless of user time zone. Okay.
So that's a very nice feature. We can
like it.
Probably, Maggie, if you can put that in the ideal portal, definitely.
That has also changed now. You saw the note that with the, I think it'll just redirect to it now, but the idea portal is now actually on the support site. So
Lena, Lavidya, did you answer a question for her? I think you did, about the emails.
Yes, I was just referring to the process automation designer, where, based on certain conditions, you can send bulk emails. But because, this is generic platform functionality, I'm not sure of the specifics, like what are the current challenges they're facing specific to this scenario. But I did give an option for it in the chat.
Maggie, I'm gonna get that link and put it in here for you.
Yeah, I just put that in the chat as well. I just put oh,
you just found it? Okay, good.
Yeah. And it is still there in the community link. It's just there's a community resources at the top header menu. Under community resources, you'll see the idea portal. But again, it links you to the support site.
Are there any plans to better support currency fields? For example, when reporting on PPM finance fields, we hit obstacles. For example, being able to format field values and apply K and M, etc.
We do have some limitations for currency because, for currency fields, it's you have different, the configuration is outside that reporting formatting pop-up that you see, because this you define at the instance level. It is in the generic currency configuration that is outside of reporting. So in that sense, we let platform deal with it how they deal everywhere across. So probably that's why you're hitting these limitations, but it would be interesting to know what specifically. So I see you type something.
Also another good example of just
introducing.
So we want to show, so I want the option to show that as rounded up to like 16K or something like that.
Yeah, this involves, the currency conversion. Sometimes it's not straightforward when it comes to currencies. We do have some limitations. That's why we left currency out of the formatting and we let platform deal with it. But maybe something for the visualizations, we can consider this one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a common request.
Yes.
And because my understanding is it's where the actual currency conversion is done. It's not actually done on the record level at the database, right? It's being done.
Right.
And And that's part of the challenge. Is it's not like it's a field that is variable based upon what time zone you're in or anything like that. It's or not what time zone, what currency is your default or anything
What
like
currency? Yes,
Yeah.
because it depends upon the currency, how they would convert, how the short forms are arrived at.
So
Yeah,
I think it'd be so. It sounds like something could be a good feature request to say, but it's something that that we don't have. What you're saying is we don't have any direct control over that, but it might be a good one to put out there just to say, how can we address that issue from the platform level?
That's correct. Because right now it is all the currency configuration is under system localization. So that's where you define all the configuration settings, and we don't have control over that. You can't adjust it at the report level. But you're right, Dan. Rightly put.
And Mike's got another comment on there. So yep, he's submitted a bunch of different feature requests and kind of getting the frustration that they're getting closed down because they don't get enough votes. And that's one that I think it definitely is a gap, because when I've heard from customers, I hear this to be a very common request, but they're not finding them on the idea portal to say, yeah, I want to upvote those ideas. So I know that's definitely a challenge area. That's something that I know part of bringing the idea portal into the support site, in the support instance, is to try to address that, to make there be a little more direct visibility. But we certainly try to do it, but I think there's still going to be that challenge of so how can we, and I think it's more of a rhetorical question at the moment, how can we make the idea portal something that we can maybe override the votes and say that, hey, there are a lot of people that we're hearing talking about this particular feature, even though they haven't voted on it. Is there a way that we can kind of, still send it along into the, into the feature requests? Yeah. So it's like, right. I'm just saying not enough people in the community. I don't know that we have a quick fix to that, but I would say, one thing I do is whenever the customers that I talk with submit idea portal ideas, I definitely say that socialize it with anybody within your company, outside your company. Let me know about it, and I will try to socialize it with other customers. Certainly socialize it with your account exec if you have that relationship with your account exec, to say if there's, because they certainly have other customers. So that's so we definitely want to make it better, but that's there. It's not a that definitely is a known gap, I would say, today.
Okay, Mike, great stuff. We'll try to do what we can. You have some people on the call that are hearing you that maybe can push that a little bit faster for you. So apologize that it hasn't gotten many votes. Okay, Labidji, you're taking that one. That actually goes back to that question I think that Olga was talking about changing the color.
Yes. Yeah, because I thought it was a report, but it's actually a PA widget will do a quick check. Because you can change, you can configure the color for a report, dial report. We'll get back on the PA widget. I'll type in the answer.
I'm glad that you're learning. That is definitely the idea behind these, especially when you hear questions of things that maybe you didn't think of. So we've been trying to do these every 6 months, but that may be too fast based on having some time left here with no questions. So and
remembering that we do try to keep time every bi-weekly session. We do try to have some time for just general questions. But we don't always have that. So
okay, here's another question here. So another widget question. For the latest score widget, can we create new templates?
Oh, I think so. There's like template 1, template 2, template 3.
Yeah. Like they want to create their own. Is that possible for anybody on the call, or in the future? Anybody talked about it?
It's not possible.
It is not at this point. No, not for the. Is that something that would be available? I'm not sure how it's done. I haven't looked at
So
the
in the next experience,
next
in the
experience.
visualization of the next experience, we are not using concept of the templates.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Have you set? We have settings so you can choose which informations you want to show or not, and we will expand it in the future with more layout. So now it's more horizontal. Now more vertical layout of all information vertically defined, and we are planning some point in the future to extend it with a horizontal layout. So it's best suited for the short, like small heights, longer widths layouts. But this is where we're heading on the classic PA widgets. Those 3 templates which were there. It's there's no way to add new templates to it, so that's a little bit limiting. So you have to choose out of 3.
So we have submitted service ideas for a few enhancements: comma separated data fields, dot walking on aggregated columns for automated indicators. Just wondering if other customers see values in these.
There you can use function fields, so you can combine multiple string fields in one. That way you can get the first feature, at least based on, if I understand correctly, your request. So the second request, dot walking on aggregated columns for automated indicators. I'm not sure I understand that question, to be honest. Is there value? Of course there is value. I totally understand what you're asking, at least for the first part. The second one, if you can possibly unmute and help me understand better. Yeah.
Here, I will allow him to talk. So, yeah.
I'm sorry for the cryptic message I sent everybody. I was trying to type in real quick. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the second one, in reporting, you can actually dot walk to values on your aggregation fields. I don't know if you're familiar with doing that, but it doesn't seem to work in PA when I'm setting up an automated indicator. Let's say I want to do an average on a column that's not on my base table, and I need to dot walk to another related table. I can't seem to do that on the automated indicator screen.
Yes, we don't have this feature at the moment. This is something we're implementing with our new engine. There is a workaround though. You can create, for example, a DB view, and then you can get the aggregation on that field.
Yep. I understand that.
Yeah.
So we just create a new DB view that puts it all on a base view, if you will, and then
correct. Yes.
We should be able to do that. Okay.
And
very
regarding
good.
the first, the comma separated data labels, have you used?
Yeah. Well, we display data, the numbers on our columns, right? In our visualization for the PA widgets. When you have a very large number, they're not comma separated. It's just one big long list of digits. So
okay. So
we ran into that.
The formatting of the numbers, actually.
Yeah. It just, especially in some of our vulnerability reports, we've had some large numbers, and customers have asked for that. So
my answer is it was completely wrong. It was referring to something different. I think.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault. It's mine. I assumed. I think well, I'm not sure if we have that option for displaying the commas or not. Maybe Visual gave. I remember. I know that we have about the value, if it is formatted or not, if it is in case, in millions. That's
yes, have an abbreviation. You can enable abbreviation, so it's just easier to read. So if it's like long number, it will be 1.3 M, that's all.
Yeah, you have that display data labels option, right?
Yes, you can show in the tooltip the actual value. You're right, John.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd ask that. But thank you for the feedback.
Thank you, John.
Okay, Stephen has a question. if someone implemented a PA content pack, then touched a bunch of stuff and incorrectly, is it possible for me to re-implement zboot, just reset it back to defaults and start over? Remediating work from a previous vendor and a reset to default switch would save me so much time. Any ideas for that?
No, solution library will do some of that, but I know it also is not set against every content pack. So, where you can go into the, solution library as a menu option to say that, or it's actually just called under PA solution library, just solutions, that can give you kind of a way to kind of reload. It will not undo the other stuff that someone's already changed it, but so it's not going to like reset an indicator or an indicator source back to its original. But my understanding is what it can do though is you can get it can make it as a new object to say, there's the new version that is the old, but I'd have to double check on that. I know that's not been used as much in recent releases, but I think that's a really good question, a really good feedback too. If anyone else has any other thoughts on that.
You're right, Dan, that is the only way. The solution library is the only way to address this use case. And the reason why we did it, Stephen, is not because we don't want to give that button, but the consequences of pushing that button when you are not sure are quite important.
Severe, yes.
And severe, especially in a production instance. And then, it's much more difficult to come back to the state that they were earlier. So that is the only reason why that option comes only through solution library.
Visualina is still, she has some follow-up questions for you. So.
Yes, because, we use a platform email mechanism also behind the scenes for scheduling reports as well. So I think there should be definitely a way for what Nina wants to achieve. I'm just trying to find the right one in the docs because, it's not my area of expertise. Need to find it in the docs. If I find a link, I'll definitely paste it. But I assume there should be a way because we are also reusing platform functionalities for our emails that we send out, including reports.
Report sources can be used as pre-filtered conditions in the next experience dashboard visualizations. Will report source functionality be ported into experience itself at some point?
Mike, do you mean that you can configure?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, use a predefined report source or predefined data source like you could in a report in the class.
We are planning to have all the admin functionality for the charts, report ranges, the report sources, etc., to the platform Analytics Workspace as well. So whether it's Analytics Center or somewhere else in one of the coming releases. And as well as make it a bit easier while you're creating visualization to easily save conditions as a predefined, right? Similar how we had it in the Viz Designer. So that's in plan as well.
Yeah, because I get that, Mike, because that's one of my favorite functionalities is just to have that.
I didn't know then, otherwise I would prioritize it first.
To prioritize the reports, because report sources, we definitely like to tell customers to use that a lot because that's a way to simplify the ability, for a lot of end users to find, that they struggle oftentimes even find the table they want, much less how to write the conditions for that table. So the report sources are a great head start for them.
I think Mike already found it, but for those report sources are there in Next Experience. So when you select the table, by default you suggested to use one of the report sources as your first step. But there is no easy way. You have to go back to the classic list to create new report source. So there's no connected flow yet in the next.
Okay, great, thank you, Olga. Will there also be any easier navigation to click through to open launch indicators? Currently in PA widget, you can click and drill down to the indicator and get to the configuration screen. With experience, I'm not seeing the ability to do the same.
You mean the open indicator form, so to say, right, from the KPI details?
Yeah, I'm thinking that he's talking about when you're at a widget and it goes straight from the widget to the indicator. But I don't know that you necessarily need that.
You go to Analytics Hub, and then from the Analytics Hub, you can go easily open indicator if you have permissions. And this feature is not available right now from the KPI details, but it is planned to have the connected flow as well, right? That it's easily navigatable and to allow easier create. So we're figuring out how the best flow, but yeah, that is on the roadmap.
And he's saying from an admin perspective. Let's bring him allow him to talk for this, make sure we understand what he's talking about. Hey, Mike, go ahead. If you can tell us, maybe it'll help us understand.
Hello. No, I get what you're saying. So yeah, there's a couple of options. I'm talking about it from an admin perspective, especially if we're trying to troubleshoot a dashboard. So let's say today that we go into a dashboard and that dashboard has a number of different PA widgets on there. I can go into edit mode. I can drill down into that widget. It will tell me what indicators there. I can then click on the indicator. It will then take me into the configuration. And from there, I can go and look at the scores. I can go into the indicator source and perhaps do some kind of investigation or troubleshooting. Now, with the experience side of things, if I add a visualization in and I select a particular indicator, there's no easy way to go and just click something and say, yeah, this is the indicator. Click on this and go into the indicator definition so I can go and do the troubleshooting. I'd have to go and copy and paste the text, or I'd have to go and just go into a different screen and go and find it and click through that way. So I'm just thinking from a, from if you're an admin, if you've got that kind of ability, perhaps look at whether that experience could be improved from the admin perspective.
So this is during configuration of visualization itself, right? It's not mandatory from the drill.
I would during configuration or troubleshooting, and then maybe someone's report an issue and you need to go in and have a look at something.
Definitely also on the list. Yeah, we can. If it's painful, we can prioritize it faster. It's probably just to have a link. Shouldn't be that hard. Yeah.
Just a little eye icon, right? I think you've actually got it on the indicator source, but I think if that was on the indicator as well, I think that would help, just so we can get to places as we need to.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, so I have about 5 minutes. I think I'll just go ahead and close this down. So before we get that, so thank you for everyone who has asked a question, and for all of the panelists, and of course, Dan, coming on and helping with this. I think these calls are very useful. Like the one caller said, even just hearing questions about things that maybe they had never thought about, being able to have people that can answer those directly, I think is a really good thing to do. So, and actually even the comment of doing them right after releases. So we'll look to have another one of these in the spring at some point. So what I will do is this will be out in the community and also on the YouTube, and I will put each question at their minute mark, so you can actually go directly to that, so you don't have to go through everything. So look for that as well. So but thank you to everyone that contributed and also asked questions. So like I talked about earlier, the community has changed. It is now actually Platform Analytics. And here is the link where you can get directly to it. Please go out there and look at the new community, check things out, and it is ever evolving. So the looks may change within the next few days, just kind of what it looks like there, but the links should all stay the same. So check it out whenever you can. And then there is a new Academy page as well with all of that information. It should look very familiar. Most of that ported over directly, so that will look familiar to you, and you can get all the previous ones and also the upcoming ones as well. And again, we put a plug in for this on our last session, but check out our new Platform Analytics Academy Pro Tips. More videos to come, but these are what we kicked off with. They're about 5 videos, so check those out as well, and they're also in the new community as well. And of course, always make sure you're utilizing Now Learning as much as you possibly can. If you don't have an account, you should have an account. Go there and search for analytics or reporting or performance analytics or platform analytics, and everything that is possible that's in the Now Learning will pop up there for you and be available for you. The PA Advanced is now on demand as well. So if that is something that you want to do, if you've done the fundamentals and you want to move to the advanced, I definitely recommend that. And it's, of course, on demand. And these are the other academies that we like to plug, and these are the new links for those as well. So go check out some of them. They have really great, incredible content on these academy sessions as well. So check them out. And with that, thank you. And of course, again, thank you to all the panelists and Dan as well. And for all of you that joined, and for any of you that asked questions, thank you for asking the tough questions. We really appreciate it. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Thank you.